for him.
How does T.I. sign a deal for a TV show with VH1 for $3 million and she get 1.5?
Because she's married. Because she's married and she's putting her life on display as well, and she was part of Escape, so she's worth something. So they gave her $1 million contract to do her as well.
Stop with she's married. You could have just stopped there.
No, but it's true. Like she's still not relevant, but existent. You know what I'm saying? Like
her name is still known.
Yeah, it's still known. So they gave her that $1 million contract. So
don't be doing that to Tiny.
Even the kids got paid.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Pistachio.
So whatever.
When this is over, when her and T.I. split, nobody is going to be like, Tiny, you
scandalous for that, bro.
She was like a pistachio, though.
Show. No, she's going to go sit down somewhere.
Well, she have that show with her and the Shanika chick.
No, cut that out. Cut it out.
I don't know. I don't watch reality TV. I don't watch TV, but I'm just saying that I know.
Then so if you don't watch TV and you don't watch reality TV, how do you know how relevant she is? I'm confused.
Because I used to like Escape.
So because you like Escape, you think she's still relevant?
1992. Okay.
I don't know. I don't care, but don't do Tiny like that. She did birth these
and don't get it twisted.
And he's embarrassing.
Candy wrote all of their music.
Right.
Latasha was the lead singer, and Tiny was the ugly girl from Escape.
She was. I mean, but don't. And I'm just trying to say, I can't. I already been checked. My mom already told me to watch my mouth. She's listening. So.
What up, Dre?
But I have
Mama
a question.
Tater.
I have two guys on the phone, right? I have Jay Gatsby and I have Jay Otta Rockstar right now. And so we're talking about divorce so casually. My question is, what do the phrase "till death do you part"? What does it mean to you guys? Like, really?
Excuse me?
It means what it says. There is no explanation into it. Till death do you part.
What does "till death do you part" mean to you, Jay?
Meaning, once one of y'all goes, apparently that must be the end of you guys.
Yeah.
And that makes you part your ways, not voluntarily, but death. That's pretty final. So one is gone, there's no coming back.
And so we're gonna. So my thing is, why is it just okay for people to just up and get divorced, and we talking about it like it's really nothing? I feel like divorce is an ultimate. Like it's just terrible. It's beyond terrible to me. So
all right. So again, before we answer that question, we have to separate it in parts. Are we going to talk about how we feel about it, or are we going to talk about the facts of marriage?
Let's talk about how you feel about what, I don't know, talk about both of them.
I guess we have to separate the two because sometimes we tend to speak our feelings and it deviates from the fact. Right. Sometimes, unfortunately, divorce is a part of marriage. There can be several factors that lead to that. That may be unfortunate as well, but it happens.
Could even
Some
be a mutual
people
understanding.
enter it and not take the vows as serious as they're supposed to. Some people don't have a clear understanding of what marriage is.
Yep.
Some people do, some people don't. And I guess that's why.
So do you feel like we should omit that out of our vows? Because I don't think this generation actually believe in a phrase, "till death do us part."
Well, I can't put it all on this generation. They weren't the first ones that
Not
invented
at all.
divorce. Divorce has been going on for a long time. If we want to highlight, it's highlighted now more because we live in a society where everything is visible. So we see it more, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't happening.
I think it's happening a lot more because I remember back in the days, your grandfather have a whole nother family, and you don't even know about them, but their wife still stood by their side. Now it's just like, oh my God, you sneezed twice, that's it, we get a divorce.
To rebuttal that question, are there women like that nowadays who are like those grandmothers that you were talking about, who said your grandparents got
So what do you mean by that?
Do you have women that's willing to stay married to a guy in this day and age that has another family on the side?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why
should women have to though? Why should the ultimate
Here we
determination?
go. This is about to become all about why guys are doing this.
Right,
There's
it
not
is.
going to be any accountability in this statement.
It
will just
you
be.
didn't even let me say what I had to say before y'all already.
Now. Just remember I said this.
It's not a man's fault. I'm just saying, why is it right now that the value of marriage is so low that we are willing to walk away from it with no second thought?
For both men and women?
From both men and women. I think women now are a little too independent. And I mean, I know it's hard to say that, but I actually feel like women are a little too...
Yo, Miss Sophisticated got me dying laughing all in this radio right now when she said that.
What is your thoughts? Why do you feel like the value of marriage is so low?
Well, I feel like the value of marriage is low because I think women instead of women looking at men as men, they look at men as experiments and they try to change them. They try to say, oh, he's doing this, but in 5 years I can get him to do that. And then when it doesn't happen, they get mad or they try to leave. They try to end up and getting a divorce and stuff like that. When if you accept the person for who they are and what they are and what they have and what they will have.
And more importantly, who they're not as
exactly. Well. Then you'll have a good marriage, but most people don't see that. Most people ain't really trying to go for all that.
So, do you think just people should get married too quickly or before they're knowing each other? I think that's something that you know before you say, I'm going to get married to somebody.
In my own personal opinion, I think you should be dating somebody for 3 to 5 years before you marry them.
I can't say that.
I'm going to say...
that's my opinion.
Yeah, I understand that. I feel like this. If more people took the time to get to know each other in the process leading up, and there's no time limit on it, just it's a vibe that you know. There are certain questions that you ask before you take it to that next level to make your decision a little bit more stronger. These celebrities, though, that get married and get divorced, they should have never gotten... And I'll speak on the men. Most of these dudes should never get married because they're not ready.
Yep.
I know that some of them want to get married for image purposes and all that. But I wouldn't be willing to risk everything that I work for if I know that I'm not ready and knowing that I'm giving this woman power by leaving me because I still haven't sorted out my personal issues.
Right.
I look at those men as idiots, and I look at those girls like smart business women. Come up, ma, go get that bread, go get that bag. If these niggas want to be stupid, take them for everything.
Lil' Kim said it the best.
Okay, so when we talking about the taking, and this has been a strong topic for us today on the on everybody's social media.
That's right. Get into it. Dive into the deep water.
I'm not.
You about to drown. You about to drown.
I'm not. I'm just asking a question.
Floaties are off.
Why do you think successful black men marry outside of their race?
Well, to answer that, there are several different reasons. So we can talk about the different reasons.
Yeah.
I think one particular reason, and I've seen it, is that the systematically men and women have been pitted against each other for years, since slave days. So what tends to happen is this. In the black community, women are taught that a man is supposed to provide and do X amount of make a certain amount of money and have a certain level of status. We're talking about young men that haven't come into their own, don't have jobs. So their whole function in life is to become that man that those girls are looking for. Yeah. It's actually hard, to do that when you're young. A man doesn't come into his own until he either A, goes to college and then gets that good job, or works hard and can get the nice car, nice clothes, and different things that a woman should want for a man.
Yeah.
I do think that women should want that in a strong man, but to put that pressure on him too early, that's a little bit much. So on his rise to his come up, he can't get a date to save his life because he might not be popping. He might not have swag. He might not have a bunch of bullshit factors that don't matter. They don't take into account his character, which is the most important thing. So the meme that we were talking about earlier on social media, you got the nerdy black guy in school. He just wants to, see a nice girl, have a date, say hi. She's not checking for him. She's checking for the dope boy that make a lot of money, the thug, and that happens a lot. I was on the side of probably being one of the more popular kids in school, and I never had a personal problem getting women. But I've seen good guys get shitted on left and right, and I mean shitted on.
So do you think when you say
those
that,
scars sometimes don't heal as well just because we think it should? So
no, they don't.
A reinforced negative opinion of a group of people or a person, it can shape you into a different person. It
but
can.
You know what? I was listening to you say this earlier today, and it made me think about it. Most of these guys that's playing football and stuff like that, they're not getting turned down by the black girls that you guys say that they're.
You don't know that though.
That's not the truth.
When they was in Pop One,
again, I started off what I was saying by there are different factors.
Mm-hmm. That's
now,
what I said.
Football guy, that's a different. Now we can get into that. That's something separate. There are different reasons why black men date outside their race.
That it is.
I still don't feel like none is valid.
There is no one universal reason.
I don't feel like, besides you saying, I like this woman, I'm attracted to her,
I have a question.
Her, I don't think any other reason.
I got
is
a
valid.
question for Miss Sophisticated.
Well, how can you say what's
if
valid
a man,
to another person?
I just feel like I don't believe that it is.
So if a black man came to you and he had everything you wanted and you had everything he wanted, but he told you, I would like you better if you had blonde hair and blue eyes, how would that make you feel?
That would make me feel like this is not the man for me because I don't have blonde hair.
That's a racist statement,
right?
right?
Blue eyes.
That's a racist statement, though, right?
What?
What he just asked.
That if he said to me that I have to have blonde hair and blue eyes.
That's a racist statement. Because he wants you to be
he
another.
Wants to be something that I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's being racist,
so
but it's something that
it
I'm
is being racist
not.
because 99% of the people that got blonde hair and blue eyes is white.
Are white.
Yeah.
Well,
So with that being said,
he made one of white.
He made a racist statement as well.
What I say?
Why can't men or women date outside their race? Because at the end of the day, it's
all about love.
I have no problem with men and women dating outside their race.
But
I have
you just
a problem
said you don't see a valid point.
You gonna let me talk?
Go ahead.
Okay. My problem is, I have a problem when men become successful and then they switch from dating black women to dating white women.
Got you.
That is where my problem lies at. I don't care if you want to date right now. If you broke and you want to date a white girl, do you?
But don't be a millionaire and then, okay.
And be like, I don't date black women no more.
What if those millionaires have always been attractive to white women?
Then why didn't you date her when you wasn't a millionaire?
But who's to say that they didn't? You're looking at the end result or something, but don't see the come up to it.
No, I get one point though. You're making
an opinion about a final decision that they made, but you don't know their walk of life.
But you,
I'm gonna disagree with you, Jay Gatsby and JR. Like I'm gonna really agree with Ro on this one because I'm a witness to like a few of my cousins and people that I do know that like made it, and they were married to like one of my aunties and all of that, and then like once they went on tour or they got into the Oakland Raiders position to where they playing safety and all that. Shouts out to my cousin, and it went from black nigga this to that. Then you pull up with Becky with the good hair.
And
you know what I'm saying? And it's completely different. So I really agree with like what you're saying. So not to knock off my niggas, but I agree with like man to the 10th power. Like I totally agree.
That's the only problem. I don't want you guys to think because I've dated when I first moved to Las Vegas. I dated a white guy.
I know you dated one of them Kardashian dudes.
I dated a white guy for a whole month when I was out here.
We can go ahead and put that out there. She dated one of them Kardashian dude. Yeah, that's who she dated.
But I know
how'd that turn out?
It left. Evidently,
it was cool until he actually tried to touch me, and when he touched me, I flinched in a way that caused us to pause, and we both looked like.
But she wasn't ready for it.
I was like, it just.
It's not you.
I knew in my heart that. You know, and I loved everything up until the point where, and the only thing he tried to do was touch my shoulder.
Right.
And everything was cool up until that point. And when he tried to touch my shoulder, it was just like, this ain't gonna work. I am not physically attracted to you at all.
Shouts out to that white guy.
Strong black man.
That's right.
Sorry.
Shouts out to the Kardashian.
Shouts out to the white guy. Because we got a light skinned nigga up in here running shit.
You know?
I mean, have you dated outside of your race?
Yes, I have.
And what was the difference? What was the difference than dating someone outside of your race opposed to dating somebody in your own race?
To me, and once again, this is my opinion, there was no difference. I treated her with respect. We went out to eat. We did what we did. We had fun. Same thing you would do with anybody of any color. There was no misconnection.
I respect that.
Jay Gatsby, did you date outside your race?
I have never done anything with a white woman, from dating to sexual intercourse, nothing. That's just something for me personally. I have never really been attracted to white women, and you know, just never. And I went to a very diverse high school. There were some pretty white women in that school. It just didn't do it for me, and that's just me.